So they talk about the awakening. But the awakening is not something out there, it's something in here. It's each individual awakening. Yeah? So you don't need... It seems to me that, everybody's kind of waiting. Who's going to step out? Who's going to be the one, Oh, we have to have a demonstration in Trafalgar Square with 35,000 people. You don't assert your sovereignty on a Saturday afternoon for 2 hours. You assert your sovereignty every minute, every second, every single day. And you do that alone. The whole point is that you do it alone. And you have to face the policeman or whoever it is, and you've got to do that alone. We're born alone. We die alone. But is Trump good or bad? I'm not going to come down on either side. I was amazed when he made a speech in front of the General Assembly, I think last November, and he laid into the globalists. I mean, this man would not be attacked at the level that he is attacked by the globalist mainstream media if he were not fighting against them. So, it could be a psyop, but I'm not waiting for Trump to ride in on his white charger, because nobody's going to save us. The whole point about this, which is a spiritual exercise to awaken us as individuals, is that we must not be collectivized, because this is an individual awakening and an individual empowerment. And we must not believe that anybody's going to ride in and save the situation, because it's my responsibility, my personal responsibility to solve this. And, you really should, I'm not one for demonstrations. And I think that the demonstrations are not positive, because it's more collectivization. We know that the control... after 2 years of being involved in this, I can tell you, absolutely everything is controlled opposition, and they infiltrate everything. We've had attempts with people trying to infiltrate us and misdirect us. So, you have to work on yourself. And, once you engage in this, we now know what this is. We always have a joke that we always say this. We don't know what it is. But actually, no, we know what it is. This is a genocide. The genocide already started. They murdered the old people. We have the evidence of that. They murdered the sick people by withdrawing healthcare. So the genocide has already started. It's real. And the second wave is going to be the electromagnetic weapon. Yeah? So once you've woken up, once you realize what the truth is, then you cannot escape that responsibility. You don't have a choice to do nothing. Yeah? You have an obligation. You are now liable. Just as, I'm sorry, but the health workers who stood by while the old people were murdered and the sick people were abandoned, they are liable. So this, for me, is all about responsibility and liability. Quantum physics, I have to laugh about the double slit experiment, because in the double slit experiment, you have the observer effect, right? So if the observer is observing, it changes the outcome of the experiment, whether it's matter or whether it's energy. Yeah? And so they talk about the observer effect. But just a moment, if the observer is having an effect, this is no observer. This is a participant, right? So what quantum physics shows us is that we are creator beings and that it's an energy universe, yeah? Now, that should have changed absolutely everything, in my view. Yeah? From that moment onwards, we should have completely seen everything totally differently. really, the 20th century, I think the 20th century is the lost century, because we should have been developing and we should have had free energy and Tesla technology. We should be living in a paradise right now. So why aren't we? At the beginning of this conversation, I said that the international appeal to stop 5G on Earth and in space was hijacked in December 2019, and it was hijacked by an organisation called World Shift. And World Shift is an organisation that was set up by the Club of Budapest, which itself is the sister organisation to the Club of Rome, who are the depopulationists. And World Shift was set up to carry out the international projects of the Club of Budapest. And because of the hijack of the appeal, I then spent, at least 2 months solidly looking into all of this and looking at what World Shift was and where it came from. And I came across something called the World Shift 20 Declaration. And this was written in 2011, and it was, the main co-author was a man called Ervin Laszlo, who was the founder of Club of Rome in Hungary and the founder of Club of Budapest and the founder of World Shift. So this World Shift 20 Declaration, I looked, as I said also at the beginning, I'm an editor, so I'm used to looking at documents. So I looked very carefully at this World Shift 20 Declaration and I extracted quotations from it. This is my paraphrase, but based on the actual quotation. It says, and remember, Ervin Laszlo, as the Club of Budapest and the Club of Rome, these are the same oligarchs. Yeah? So World Shift is the same thing as the Great Reset. These are the same people, it's the same plan, it's just another version of it. Now, I'll tell you, it says, their aims: smash the family, smash humanity, smash society, smash nation states, smash religion. This is a Maoist cultural revolution. That's exactly what this is. That's the Great Reset. And that's what we need to understand. So as I've watched this whole COVID scamdemic step by step, and I've watched its progress, I'm sitting there with the World Shift 20 Declaration. I've made a little table of their wish list, and I'm just ticking the boxes.